Untouched natural expanses still exist in Anatolia. Extraordinary creatures thrive in these rich ecosystems. Once common, they are now vanishing at an alarming rate. The steppes of the dry hinterlands are defined by herbaceous plants and shrubs rather than dense forests. Steppes and meadows occupy about a quarter of Anatolia. Although these sparsely vegetated areas may seem barren, they are vital for many species, providing essential refuge for those adapting to harsh conditions. As in many parts of the world, Anatolia's vast meadows are disappearing. Transformed by expanding agriculture. In this episode, we delve into the unique lives of creatures that exist on the brink, battling for survival in the harsh environment of Anatolia's expansive plains. The endless, snow-covered wilderness of eastern Anatolia. Starlings gather in vast flocks to endure winter's challenges. Preying on rodents hidden beneath the snow proves challenging. Buzzards manage to thrive by scavenging carrion out on the plains. There is an adept hunter who traverses the snow-blanketed terrain. The red fox's fur has thickened, equipping it for the severe cold of winter. From dawn until dusk, it scours this frozen wasteland in search of food. Despite its sharp eyesight, the fox struggles to locate prey hidden beneath the snow. It needs to focus. Eyes shut, it now relies on sound. It can detect even the faintest movements under the snow. It's time to act. A failed attempt. It will have to try again. Although the rodent has the upper hand, the fox remains a determined and skilled predator. To raise its young in the more favorable spring season, the fox must find a mate before winter ends. The female's breeding window is brief, driving the male to remain close, careful not to miss his only chance. Though they may appear to be fighting, the foxes are in fact courting, spending time together to strengthen their bond. Finding food proves challenging for all living creatures in the snow and ice-covered plains of eastern Anatolia. Although black kites typically winter in small groups in the woods at the plains edges, this area is an exception. The black kite is an opportunistic predator. Around 10,000 birds have gathered in a mega flock near the garbage dump to endure the harsh winter months. Despite providing some sustenance in harsh conditions, the garbage dump is not an ideal food source. Waste can contain non-food substances, bacteria, and chemicals that may poison the birds. Once the severe winter ends, they will disperse to various parts of Anatolia. A deep silence hangs over the plain. The distant calls of magpies and crows occasionally break the gentle rustling of the wind. This red fox ruled the snowy expanse. Now it lies still. In the harsh winter landscape of Anatolia, even death has a role to play. Those who perish sustain others. Vegetation is sparse. No trees in sight. Though it may appear inhospitable, this area is home to the Anatolian mouflon, a symbol of the steppe. It is hard to believe such a large herd roams this slope. The animals are almost invisible in this steppe unless they move. The rams spend almost 10 months of the year in bachelor herds, separate from the females. They must track down the females soon. The search can take as long as 6 weeks until they locate the right herd. While males display impressive horns, the females lack them. The horns have dozens of rings. The dark rings form each year to mark the ram's age. Composed of keratin, like nails and hooves. The horns begin to grow when the sheep are about 4 months old and reach their full size at ages 12 to 13. The horns of an adult male can weigh up to 10 kilos, despite being hollow. The wild sheep eats about a quarter of the approximately 400 plant species that grow in the steppe. The nutritional value of the food here is low. It spends about 10 hours a day feeding. It quickly grazes with little chewing. They will digest their food in a safer spot while resting. With their eyes positioned on the sides of their heads and horizontal pupils, sheep have a 320-degree field of vision even while grazing. The ram is with his harem, observing the steppe from a commanding point. It smells the females one by one to detect those in heat. As temperatures start to rise, the males will leave the herds. Now, it's the female's turn to leave the herd. They will roam through rocky regions, distancing themselves from the herds until they give birth. Only once their lambs are strong enough will they return to the safety of the herd. The lambs will remain close to their mothers during their first year. Tortoises must hide during the hottest hours of the day to balance their body temperature. They seek shady cavities. These cool spots are scarce on the plains. Competition is fierce. Latecomers will be left exposed. Looking for another cavity in this heat is just as dangerous as being left out in the open. Shade must be utilized, no matter how small. Winters are invariably harsh in these sun-scorched lands. Ants need to be well prepared. Soldiers, workers, and queens, each a player in this perfectly functioning social system. Equipped with powerful pincers, an ant can easily carry 10 times its own weight. These ants follow a pheromone trail between the food source and the nest. It resembles a highway on the steppe. In the heart of Anatolian meadows, elusive creatures are also on the move. A giant lizard disguised as a snake. With a body reaching 135 centimeters and a fierce gaze, the glass lizard might seem frightening, but it is a shy and harmless species. At about 50 centimeters in length, the slow worm is smaller than the glass lizard. But why do these lizards lack legs? Nature's remarkable adaptability over millions of years is showcased by the transformation of these species into a snake-like form. This, in fact, is not a disadvantage. Dwelling under soil and debris, this adaptation enables them to escape danger quickly. In Anatolia's plains, a small yet key species helps control rodent and insect populations. The little owl, Athene noctua, is named after the Greek goddess Athena. It is among the smallest predators in this area. Unlike most owl species, this small owl is diurnal. It nests in abandoned buildings and between rock formations. The long-eared owl, which is much quieter, favors woodlands close to the meadows, where it goes hunting. Its claws are unforgiving. This is best seen at the bases of trees underneath the owl nests. Like many bird species, owls regurgitate the indigestible parts of their prey. Snakes are another species that keep rodent populations at bay. One of the best rodent hunters of the region lives in eastern Anatolia and the Mediterranean basin. The blunt-nosed viper is one of the world's most remarkable reptiles. Reaching impressive lengths of up to 1.5 meters, its potent venom can kill prey in seconds. The barren plains are also home to one of the cutest creatures in Anatolia. Seeds, roots, leaves, plant stems, fruits, flowers, the ground squirrel is not picky. It is out to forage near its nest. Ground squirrels excavate extensive, multi-branched galleries with numerous entrances, some reaching depths of up to 2 meters. These burrows also provide shelter during times of danger. In addition to serving as a food source for predators, ground squirrels play a crucial role in the ecosystem by aerating the soil and dispersing seeds. The wheat ear cohabits burrows with ground squirrels. The abandoned squirrel burrows offer ideal nests for wheat eaters. The young have started to venture from the nest, cautiously exploring their surroundings. The mother will continue to bring food and supplies until the young are ready to become independent. Ground squirrels require meadows for their populations to thrive. They cannot survive in ploughed fields, and the expansion of agricultural areas is diminishing their habitat. Lake Tuz. This is the second largest lake in Anatolia. The intense heat of the Anatolian sun has created vast salt pans as water evaporates. This lake hosts one of the most vibrant bird species. Lake Tuz is among the 20 known breeding sites for flamingos in Europe. Around 20,000 chicks hatch each year to join the colony. But why come to Lake Tuz? The environment is harsh, it's hot, offers little shelter, and is too salty for most other species to thrive. The flamingo nests are far from the shore, surrounded by shallow water. The sweltering sun and extreme salinity keep them safe from predators. Summer. Most chicks have hatched and are old enough to stand in the shallow water. Despite their small size, they are preparing for a long journey. They must walk about 20 kilometers under their parents' watchful eyes. The vast nursery of thousands of flamingo chicks has moved toward the freshwater sources on the lake's western shore. With abundant food near the water, life is somewhat easier than in the lake's center. Sadly, not all chicks can make this journey. The weaker ones have perished. However, the biggest threat to these birds comes from humans. Extended drought and excessive irrigation in the early 2000s drained the vital water sources for flamingos, resulting in a sharp decline in their populations. This unique colony, discovered in 1969, is now regaining its former splendor. Lake Tuz region serves as a crucial natural reserve for our planet. Feeding well, the chicks grow stronger and will soon take to the skies. The wintering habitats throughout Anatolia will soon be filled with young flamingos. In 4 to 5 years, the matured chicks will return to Lake Tuz to breed and continue the cycle. The steppes of southeast Anatolia. With the warming weather, migratory birds start to arrive at their nesting sites. The blue-cheeked bee-eater, one of the most colourful bird species of Anatolia. Despite its name, it hunts every airborne insect with precision. Large grasshoppers are its favourite. Once recovered from the tiring journey, the colony quickly focuses on breeding. Instead of perching on branches, these birds prefer to be on the ground. Bee-eaters prefer low hills with gentle slopes. This hill with soft soil is an ideal nesting area. A hard day's work has begun for the male bee-eater. While feeding himself, he must also bring gifts to his potential mates. The female closely observes the male's hunting skills. She will select a proficient hunter as a mate to guarantee a sufficient food supply for the young until they fledge from the nest. Males that display strength in flight and skill in hunting are the ones who win mates. Yet, the challenge continues. It's now time to provide a secure nest for the chicks. Those who can't find a mate are restless. Some even try to isolate their competitors from their partners. A nest lies hidden in the towering pine trees. Mature pines can easily support a Cinereus vulture's nest. This forest borders the plains, where vultures go looking for food. The mother has gone in search of food. The chick will lie low, rendering itself invisible. The Cinereus vulture can fly as far as 150 kilometers a day, looking for food. It is easy to locate a carcass on the flat steppe. Cinereus vultures generally follow the ravens, crows, magpies, and Egyptian vultures that usually arrive first. The Cinereus vultures watch from a distance to ensure the area is safe. The imperial eagle won't miss this opportunity either. However, caution is advised in the presence of so many vultures. Patience has worn thin. As more birds arrive at the carcass, those waiting from a distance grow bolder. The area seems safe enough. The vulture is not a predator. Unlike other birds of prey, its claws cannot grasp prey. It uses its claws and beak to feed on the carcass. The birds are full. Now it's time to get cleaned and rest. When the largest bird of the region leaves the table, the bystanders can indulge in the remains. The vulture must now return to the pine forest in the foothills to tend to its chick. Flying with such a large body isn't easy. The vulture uses thermals to travel long distances. It circles upward with hot air currents and glides until it catches the next thermal. Using its 3-meter wings like a glider, the vulture conserves its precious energy by minimizing flapping. Now it's time for the chick to feed. It will soon gain its adult plumage and size. It must wait until early autumn to depart from the nest, reunite with its relatives in the steppe, and look for carrion. There are deep caves in the barren, rocky Euphrates Valley. These natural reserves hide one of Anatolia's rarest creatures. The striped hyena has a hunched back, triangular ears, and puffy back fur, making it appear larger than it is. Known locally as maned wolf, it is a scavenger like the vulture. It can smell food from a long distance. It carries carcasses back to its cave to eat safely. Food remains can be seen scattered near its habitat. The striped hyena is not a social animal. Unlike its spotted relatives in Africa, it generally leads a secluded and solitary life. However, several generations of hyenas can sometimes be seen around the same cave in the valleys of southeast Anatolia. The hyena won't venture far from its cave until nightfall, after which it can travel long distances to find food. The steppe now belongs to nocturnal creatures. It is almost impossible to spot the leaf-toed gecko. It emerges from its daytime hiding spot to hunt insects. Other nocturnal predators share the night with the geckos. Scorpions were among the earliest animals to cross from water to land approximately 460 million years ago. Remarkably, they have changed very little since then, despite their highly specialized lifestyle. All scorpion species are venomous. This scorpion is on the hunt. It waits for prey concealed at the entrance of its burrow or beneath rocks. Few know that 4 tarantula species are found in Anatolia. The black tarantula is one of the largest spiders in the region. During the day, the tarantula hides in cracks and crevices, venturing out to hunt when night falls and temperatures drop. It looks scary, but it is harmless to humans. Winter is not over yet, but early birds are already rushing for nests. Rooks, known for their sharp intelligence and complex social lives, prefer to live close to humans. These rows of trees provide an ideal nesting area for the rook colony. Seeds and small invertebrates under the snow offer a feast for the rooks. However, with crowding comes consequence. Fights over space and the spread of disease can prove fatal for the weaker birds. The winter season has been devastating for the kite colony. The branches show signs of harsh competition and past epidemics. The weather is warmer now. However, around 500 individuals, mainly young and inexperienced, have remained near the dump. "65 bird species found in Europe rely on steppes for feeding and breeding. 60 of them have chosen the Anatolian steppes as their home. The chakar partridge is a non-migratory bird found in the Anatolian steppes year-round. Life here is challenging, but those who adapt face less competition. It forages on the ground at dawn and dusk, feeding on seeds, grains, sprouts, and insects. In the heart of southeastern Anatolia, where ancient civilizations once flourished, lives a bird that symbolizes not only the steppe, but the very spirit of nature conservation. The northern bald ibis is one of the unique species living here. There are 2 reasons why the ibis inhabits this area: the fertile lands nourished by the Euphrates, and the steep, rocky slopes overlooking the river. The colony builds nests from branches on these rocks, which serve as its breeding ground. While its close relative, the glossy ibis, wades through shallow marshes to feed, the bald ibis avoids being in the water. It hunts insects, small reptiles and amphibians in fields near the river, along riverbanks and in arid steppes. Fights can break out within the crowded colony. Due to pesticides, the bald ibis was on the brink of extinction in the 1950s. At the time, only 9 individuals remained. The ibis was spared from extinction thanks to dedicated nature conservation efforts and a ban on toxic chemicals. The harsh winter is over, and the plains are alive with the arrival of spring. The fox no longer needs to search for food beneath the thick snow. However, things are more difficult now with 3 little cubs to feed. The growing grasses pose a challenge for the black francolins. They must make themselves heard to potential females and rivals. This female is not very impressed. If it can venture out of the tall grasses, its voice could be heard from a greater distance. It listens carefully. Potential rival males in the area must be confronted swiftly to keep them away from the females. A rare and rather unusual predator inhabits the steppes of southeast Anatolia. The black-winged kite hides its nest well. It would be impossible to see without the parents carrying food. One of the chicks wants all the food for itself. No wonder it's bigger than its siblings. Resembling the African savannas, the steppes of southeast Anatolia are also the last refuge of the endangered mountain gazelle. Both males and females grow horns. However, males' horns are much more magnificent. The gazelles spend the hottest hours of the day in the hills, but come down to the plains to feed. The male is searching for a mate, persistently tailing the female herds. Mountain gazelles once inhabited the entire Euphrates basin, but are now threatened by overhunting and habitat loss. Currently, only 250 protected individuals remain in the eastern Mediterranean. Steppes and meadows may appear barren and devoid of life compared to other habitats. Our settlements are expanding. Meadows are transforming into fields and pastures. Wild habitats are dwindling. We have depleted water resources, cutting off the lifeline of these ecosystems. Some of Anatolia's rarest and most iconic species depend on the steppes and plains for survival. Just like humans, the future of Anatolia's steppes and meadows relies on our willingness to live in harmony with nature.